Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey here, once again with another video on The Flash Season 4. Now just quickly before we get into the rest of the video, a decent amount of people have been asking me about the lack of Arrow videos because I think basically all my recent videos have been Flash, like orientated apart from maybe my Q&A, but even then that was pretty Flash orientated. Now the reason I haven't been doing Arrow videos is because, well, there's really nothing to talk about. Nothing's really come out in regards to Arrow, apart from really small things that aren't really worth making videos about. But as soon as something does come up around Arrow, or even possibly even Legends, if that does pop up, I will definitely do videos on them. Sorry, but as I said, at the moment, it's dry as hell. It's dry as a drought. There's nothing out there for it, so there's more stuff coming out about Flash, and I have videos for Flash like sort of lined up that I wanted to talk about. So yeah, that's why there hasn't been any Arrow videos. But surely stuff will come out, so they'll be coming as well. And obviously I could do theory videos on Arrow, but I really don't like doing theory videos, even though I have done some in the past. I like doing theory videos when it's relevant, you know, during the season. But at the moment, theory videos are sort of killing the niche. I see a lot of videos out there that are like 2 or 3 minutes long saying, oh, what if this happened? And they're really pointless videos, and I think they're killing the niche. So I really don't want to play my part in that. So that's why I'm not doing any videos like theorizing stuff either. So if that's just answering another question that I have seen some people asking. But anyway, since season 1, we have met a few different versions of a little character known as Harrison Wells. Now, really, since the show, not really since the show started, but up to this point in the show now, when we head into a new season, you know, sometimes we're thinking, okay, who's the big bad going to be? You know, is he going to be another speedster? Is he going to be this person? And, you know, what other characters could we meet? But one of the big questions that really, you know, is asked around the beginning or heading into the new season is, you know, which new version of Wells are we going to meet going into this season? So in season 1, we had the Eobard Thorn Wells, or Wellsabard, whatever you want to call him, and then we also had that episode where we met the original, or the OG Earth 1 Wells, which a lot of people have been asking, why isn't he in the show now? Because technically, because of Flashpoint, shouldn't have some things not happened, which, yeah, I know it's confusing as hell, but, you know, he's gone from the show for good now. I don't think we're going to be seeing the OG Earth 1 Wells anymore. In season 2, we only met one version of Wells, and that was Harry Wells. He was probably the best Wells, even though I guess you could say it's between Harry or Wellsabard, between who's your favourite, but Harry Wells, I think, is, from what I've seen online, he's definitely the favourite of the Wells that we've met on the shows. He was the only one that we met in season 2. And then we met a few different random versions of Harrison Wells from the multiverse in season 3 when they were trying to find the replacement for Harry, as he wanted to go back to Earth 2. And one of which we met was the one that we spent most of the season with, and that was H.R. Wells until his death in the finale. So H.R. Wells was the Harrison Wells from Earth 19, and obviously Earth 19 played a part in season 3 as well, apart from just H.R. Wells. So going into season 4, you would think we would be getting to know another version of Harrison Wells, also just due to the fact that in all the other seasons we've met one or more versions of Harrison Wells that are, you know, new versions that we haven't met yet. So at San Diego Comic-Con this year, which it feels like it was ages ago, but I think it was only 3 weeks ago or something. I don't know when it was, to be completely honest. It's sort of, you know, flown past pretty quickly. But anyway, at San Diego Comic-Con, Tom Cavanagh, who plays all the different versions of Harrison Wells, I think he definitely deserves like a standing ovation for all the stuff that he does on the show. And he's even directed an episode as well, and it wouldn't surprise me if he directed another episode this season. But anyway, he said that we would be meeting more versions of Wells in season 4. Now, he didn't specify when, where they're from, how many versions of Wells. He just said we would be meeting more Wells. Now, it's sort of confusing as what he meant by this. Now, this could just be something where, you know, like in season 3, there was that hologram stuff and we just went through all these different characters. Maybe that's what he means. Or we could actually be properly meeting another new version of Harrison Wells and getting to know him. There have been some set photos released that show a version of Wells walking around with both Barry and Cisco. Now, the sources for all these photos will be linked in the description below, so please go check them out. And yeah, follow them on Twitter, or, you know, bookmark their webpage, one of the two. Now, as we can see here, by looking at the set photos, we can see Barry, Cisco, and this version of Wells walking around with like an instrument of sorts. It looks sort of weird, but anyway, it must be measuring for something, or it's possibly a detector of some kind. So it could be, you know, be measuring the atmosphere or the surrounding area for like a chemical or something, or possibly it's like a detector and a sensor for something. So they're trying to find maybe the source for a certain thing, and this detector is leading them to it. It's one of those things you would have to think. Now, because of these set photos and like the whole thing about, oh no, going into these new seasons, we meet all these new versions of Harrison Wells, this has led a lot of people to say, okay, is this our new version of Harrison Wells for season 4? And personally, I don't think it is. I think it's just Harry from Earth 2. He looks like Harry in regards to his fashion sense. I know that sounds weird, but the way he dresses, it looks like Harry. Am I the only one that thinks that? But there is actually a decent amount of people who do think this is the new Wells for season 4. So this is another Wells from a different Earth in the multiverse. That's what a decent amount of people do think. Now, one interesting thing to mention is the fact that Tom Cavanagh did shave his head. At Comic-Con, he had a shaved head, like he'd got a #1 shave all over his head. But obviously in these set photos, this Harrison Wells has a full set of hair. So this is obviously a wig that Tom Cavanagh is wearing, which has led a lot of people to think, okay, maybe this is Harry, but the new version that we meet in season 4 has a shaved head or shorter hair. It might not be completely shaved, but it might be like, you know, a #3 or a #4. And that's what this new version of Harrison Wells will have. And, you know, this is just Harry at the beginning of the season, sort of similar to season 3. Like, if you remember back to season 3, Harry was in like 1 or 2 episodes, really, the beginning of the season before we met H.R. Wells. So that's what a decent amount of people do think. I don't know, I would like to just to see Harry for a bit, like maybe the first half of the season, and maybe after the crossover or something, he goes back to Earth 2 or wherever he decides to go. Because, as I said, Harry does seem to be the favourite Wells among the fan base, and I personally, you know, he's not like above and beyond by heaps, but he definitely edges out the other Harrison Wells that we've met on the show. So I would prefer to see Harry, like this be Harry, and we actually stay with Harry as the version of Wells that we're with on the show for at least half the season, and then, you know, we'll move on to this new version of Wells, which I would like to see as well. I sort of want to get half the season with Harry, and then the rest of the season with a new Wells, or, you know, a decent amount of the rest of the season after the halfway point with this new Wells. People that were watching the filming did say that Cisco and Wells were having some banter, which makes me think that it is Harry, because that's what those two do. And I don't think it'd be soon enough for this new Wells to be, if this was a new version of Wells, to be having that banter with Cisco. So from what people were saying, that when they saw the filming, it did seem like this Wells was familiar with Barry and Cisco. So you would have to think that this is Harry. Now, this is filming for episode 3 or 4. I'm not 100% sure. If you do know, please let me know in the comment section down below, because as I said, I went over set photos like a week and a half, maybe just over a week ago, with that Hazard, the new like female sort of quote unquote villain, and that's episode 3. Now, they did take a break, so because it was like the TCAs and stuff, so they might have just split the episode 3 filming for a bit, or this could be episode 4. I'm not too sure. Some people were saying this is episode 3, and some people were saying it's episode 4. So if you like 100% know, please let me know in the comments. But the reason I'm mentioning the episode number is because H.R. Wells first showed up in episode 4 of season 3. So it would sort of fit in if this was like the first episode for the new Wells, or possibly this was like the handing over of the baton, if you want to call it that, from Harry being the Wells that we're introduced to at the beginning of the season, and then this new Wells comes in towards the end of the episode. But then also Harry first showed up in, it was episode 2 of season 2, but it was like that end credit thing, and then he showed up again to like save Barry from King Shark. So it's really hard to count Harry's first appearance properly in season 2, because he was like on screen for a couple of seconds in both of those episodes. I think it was like episode 5 or something where he was properly introduced. But if this was the new Wells, then I can understand if it would fit in. It would fit in, that's what I'm trying to say, with how they've introduced the different versions of Wells over the past couple of seasons in regards to his episode number. But as I said, I would personally prefer if this was Harry, and then we'd meet another Wells down the track. But I don't know, let me know if you agree with me. But thanks for watching, guys. If you did enjoy the video, it'd be awesome if you could leave a like on it just to show your support. Let me know in the comments section down below. As I said, do you agree with me that this is Harry Wells? Or do you think it's a new version of Harrison Wells? And when would you like to meet this new version of Harrison Wells, if this one that we're seeing in these set photos is actually Harry from Earth 2? And I guess I could chuck this other question in. Which Earth would you like him from? Would you like that mime one that we saw? I think that would be hilarious if we had that mime Wells come over and he just didn't speak, and he just did all these annoying hand movements and hand gestures. I actually think that would be hilarious, but I don't know if it would really last that long. I think the joke would run dry after an episode or two, but let me know what you think of all of that in the comment section down below. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. I'll catch you later, guys. Goodbye.